Pistons. Next on the CBS Sports Spectacular, following NBA playoff basketball from Detroit. And, of course, there's an NBA doubleheader, playoff doubleheader tomorrow. Boston at Buffalo at 1:30, immediately followed by Phoenix at Seattle. Here at Detroit, the Golden State Warriors, trailing by 10 points midway through the first quarter, have now come back with 3:33 to play in the first half to take a 6-point lead. 44-38. Detroit puts the ball in bounds to Curtis Rowe. Here's Bob Lanier, and they've got to go to him to go to the basket. Lanier comes down low. Chris Ford fires some way out, and the rebound's taken out by George Johnson, and here comes Golden State running. Detroit gets 4 men back to shut off the break. Jamaal Wilkes looks cross-court, goes to Phil Smith, and he fires up and right through netting. Curtis Rowe couldn't get to him to block it.
Well, Golden State's really doing a good job of picking out the open man. Early in this ball game, Detroit was double teaming. They were having trouble. Now they're hitting everyone, and the shooting percentage has been very high here.
It got to go to Lanier. Now he has the ball, looking against Rick Barry. Goes back outside to Chris Ford, who's going to put it up. Ball tipped away, out of bounds. Last touch by Curtis Rowe of Detroit. And so Golden State will get the ball back, and they are now up by 8 points, 46-38. And Detroit needs baskets very badly here, Jerry.
They need baskets, Don, but what they really need more than anything are good shots. They haven't had very many good shots the last few times down the court.
Charles Dudley couldn't hold the ball. It comes back inbound to Detroit. George Trapp comes into the game, replacing Howard Porter. Trapp comes up to help break the press. George Trapp at 6'8", great speed as he starts to go to the basket. Lanier is almost a traffic cop out there now. He's just getting the ball in and out to different people. He hasn't gone to the basket in a long time. Eric Money shoots and gets a much-needed hoop for Detroit. And now Money steals the ball, puts it right back up again instead of passing off.
He had Chris Ford wide open on that particular play, and just a little bit aggressive play by him. Probably got a little excited. Hurt the ball club with that shot.
But one of the Pistons tapped it up the second time. The ball is saved inbounds by Jamaal Wilkes. And Al Addle's up on his feet shouting, settle it down, work a play. 46-40. 1:55 to go in the first half. Golden State with the lead. Ball might have been partially tipped, but George Johnson gets the offensive board to side court. Wilkes starts to drive. Now the ball is intercepted by George Trapp. Watch him at 6'8" move the ball. 4-on-3, down low, they throw the ball away.
Boy, those are the kind of plays that really hurt your ball club. They have come down the last 3 times, have not had a good shot when they've had Golden State's defense outnumbered badly, and you just can't do that against a team as good as Golden State.
Had the overmatch on the break, 4 against 2, but then as you saw, threw the ball away, and you certainly can't do that against the Golden State. Got to take every opportunity you get against this team. They're just so good. The loop pass goes down underneath to George Johnson, and George Johnson gets it turning around.
Here's Bill Smith posting on the smaller Archie Clark, jumps over him, misses a shot, but there's George Johnson with those long arms to tap it in.
4 points for George Johnson and a 48-40 lead for Golden State. 1:06 to play in the first half. At halftime, here's Lanier going to the basket and getting the hoop, and he was fouled on the play. That cuts the Golden State lead to 6. Bob Lanier now with 16 points.
Okay, here's Lanier with great position inside, and his body is so big that you just can't get up close to him. But I really feel that George Johnson, because he's not as strong as Lanier, would have a great deal of difficulty covering him down low if they could get him the ball there. But Golden State's defense has been so good, they put pressure on the ball, haven't allowed that pass inside in this second quarter.
They've really not been able to get the ball to him down low where Lanier likes to operate. Now he gets the 3-point play. Lanier has 17 points. And it's a 5-point game. I think you'll enjoy at halftime highlights of last year's 8 days in May, what they call it at Golden State, the sweep by the Warriors of the Washington Bullets for the NBA championship. You'll be seeing highlights of those 4 games of last year's NBA championship series at halftime here today. Right now we have 53 seconds to play in the first half. It is a 48-43 game as Phil Smith goes to the free throw line for the Golden State Warriors. Archie Clark is back in the game now for Detroit. Phil Smith gets the free throw. He has 17 points. $18 points for Phil Smith, 7-point advantage, and here is a whistle and a foul call. It's going to go against Golden State. Charles Dudley.
Okay, here's Charles Dudley trying to step out and anticipate the play, but you can see he really hadn't got himself set. Eric Money's going to go to the free throw line. That's the one thing I really feel that Detroit has to do. They have to get the ball down quickly before Golden State's defense gets set up, and if they do, they can get the ball into Bob Lanier easier. If they don't, they're going to have a hard time winning this ball game today.
Eric Money shooting for his 8th point. He gets it. And again, we have a 5-point spread in this game. Golden State with the lead. Charles Dudley on the drive. Swings the ball back out to George Johnson. To Jamaal Wilkes. Down low to Dudley. Basket goes. Foul on the play.
Well, you've really got to give this Charles Dudley a lot of credit. Just moving around, keeping his body moving, and they pick him out underneath. Real quick move inside, and you can see Lanier hits him with the body, and the ball bounces around in the basket for him. I think Al Adams feels very confident having Charlie Dudley in the ball game. He likes the way he plays. He gives a great effort every night, and you can see that they've got a lead with him in this ball game.
Well, he was a low draft choice out of the University of Washington, as Al Adams said in summer training camp. He just kept sending other guys home. We had to keep him. He beat everybody out, got a job. Archie Clark gets it, draws a foul on the play. With 32 seconds left, let's watch it again.
Archie Clark to the line, 2 to make 1.
He gets a very soft bounce on that play. He's going to have a chance to make a three-point play here, and this will be 3 of them. He makes this three-point play. It'll be 3 of them we've seen in less than a minute.
Golden State over the foul limit, and so Archie Clark gets 2 chances to make the three-point play. And again, it's a 5-point lead for the Golden State Warriors. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Don Criqui with Jerry West and Sonny Hill from Cobo Hall in Detroit. Barry starts to work down low. George Trapp, very physical against him. Barry moving all over the court now as 4 other men kind of stationary. Now Smith starts to drive, gets the bounce pass from Rick Barry. To Rick Barry. Smith tips it over to Jamaal Wilkes. Looks like he had the trajectory, but it didn't go. 5 seconds, 3 seconds. George Trapp at the buzzer. Curtis Rowe. And the buzzer sounds, and the first half comes to an end with the Golden State Warriors in the lead, 53-48. After trailing by 10 points in the first quarter, Golden State comes back now to take a 5-point halftime lead. This is Don Criqui with Sonny Hill and Jerry West back at Cobo Hall in Detroit. We're at the half. The Golden State Warriors have come from 10 points down, where they now lead the Detroit Pistons by 5 points, 53-48. And Sonny Hill, has been a game of transitions. Detroit came out looking great, then slowed down, and Golden State took over.
Well, the Detroit Pistons are a ball club that are very effective when they can run. That's when Kevin Porter was here. He was so important to them. They have players who can't help themselves too much, but are great shooters when they get the ball in a shooting position. But then they started walking the basketball. Conversely, Golden State came out and played one-on-one basketball. Notice how Bob Lanier, who got off to a great start, to help his ball club, goes up, gets the offensive rebound, and goes back. And Lanier again. And Jerry West used a great adjective when he said he's someone special, because he is. He's a fantastic basketball player. The Golden State Warriors started off playing one-on-one basketball, and here's a one-on-one play here by Phil Smith, who is a fantastic talent. But one-on-one basketball hurts the Golden State Warriors. Rick Barry also had a big first half. Notice how he receives the ball down low on some passes and then goes for a jump swing hook. That's movement of the ball, and that's when the Golden State Warriors started to change the momentum around. Bench help. Jeff Mullins, if you notice, got into the ball game early, and I would think Al Adams thinking there, he's a pro, let's use him. And defense was a big part. George Johnson knocks the ball away. Dudley Do-Right gets the ball, brings it up the floor, and again, good movement, and Rick Barry puts the ball in. And that's the reason why the Golden State Warriors were able to take over the ball game, because they were able to get into their game and stop the Detroit Pistons from forcing the ball up the floor and running to a walking game.
Okay, Sonny, now let's find out more about what Golden State might be doing in the second half as we go to Jerry West's with their head coach, Al Adams.
How your ball club got off to a poor start. You went to your bench, and again, they responded with a great effort for you.
Well, I thought our transition on defense was a little bit sluggish, a little slow. Maybe the layoff did it, I don't know. But I think we went to the bench, and I thought that they were the ones who keyed us up and got us going a little bit in the second quarter.
They got off, as I say, to such a great start. Their shooting was phenomenal. As you mentioned, it looked like your team was a little tight. Now, you're going into the second half of this ball game. You got back in the ball game, I felt, with better defense. You kept the ball from Lanier inside. I guess we'll see more of the same the second half.
Yes, we'll try. We try not to get to a position where we have to double or triple team, but when he puts the ball out on the floor, we like to try to help if we possibly can. And the other area I think that we could have been a little better in was our intelligence the first half. I thought we had some situations, like right in the end of the half, we get the ball back with 7 seconds. All we have to do is hold it, but we take a quick shot, they go down, they have an opportunity to bring it 2 points closer. So I just think our intelligence was lacking a little bit, and then our intensity as far as the defensive end.
Al, I guess we can look for a good second half in the Golden State Warriors. Congratulations on a super year so far, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
Okay, let's go back to Don Crickey.
There's a number of other outstanding playoff series going on right now. You know about those Cleveland Cavaliers and how well they're doing. Just got by Washington the other night and took a 3-2 lead, and Cleveland's tough.
I saw one of the ball games down in Washington this week when Clem Haskins played so well, but Cleveland came back and won a big ball game in their place on that last-second shot by Jim Clemens. And as you said, it's an excellent series.
Now, last night the Boston Celtics were without their great captain, John Havlicek, but they still managed to beat Buffalo a second straight time. And in a game you'll see on CBS at 1:30 Eastern tomorrow, the Celtics will be at Buffalo.
I was at that ball game last night, and they have a sign in Boston. They said Don Nelson shooting star, and that's what he was last night. He shot 7 for 12. He got the Boston Celtics off with the injury to John Havlicek, and they seem to be able to play their game and then hold off the fast-charging Buffalo Braves in the last quarter.
Two coaches who are very much in the running for NBA Coach of the Year honors are, of course, Bill Fitch at Cleveland, and John McLeod has done such a superb job at Phoenix, and his team a real surprise in the playoffs. Right now, going into that game tomorrow, another nationally televised game, Phoenix Suns up over Seattle 3-1 on a real surprise.
Well, Seattle's very tough to beat at home. They had won 17 straight prior to Phoenix beating them in the second game of the playoff, and I would expect Seattle to be very tough tomorrow on our TV game.
So it's a long way from done, really just getting started, and that's what you'll see tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time. The Celtics and the Braves at Buffalo, immediately followed by the Phoenix Suns playing the Supersonics at Seattle. At the halftime here at Detroit, the Golden State Warriors are in the lead 53-48. We'll have the second half in a moment.
The NBA playoffs on CBS are sponsored by Datsun, America's #1 selling import for cars and trucks. Datsun saves.
Got to make some fast changes in this business between. The disc replay kill you. It is 53-48 as we go into the third quarter now. Detroit will put the ball inbounds. Chris Ford will put it in. Oh, he's got to run to get it in there. That's a good play. You can run back and forth down the baseline of the court.
You can, except on the sideline once the official handles you the ball.
Sideline you can't.
You cannot.
Guys would be going up and down 94 feet if you did that.
You can only give you about a step and a half on that play.
Lanier, who had 17 points in the first half, leading scorer was Phil Smith of Golden State. He had 18. Rowe has the ball tipped away, and Charles Johnson comes up with it for the Warriors. 53-48, Jerry.
Don, a big difference in this ball game. Curtis Rowe didn't score a point in the first half of Detroit. And if they're going to get back in this ball game or play this ball game tough, he's going to have to give them a little bit of offense. Lanier had a sensational first half, but they don't have much scoring from anyone else.
Rick Barry comes around the top, fires the lead pass out. Going down the baseline is Charles Johnson, and drops it in, and Golden State opens up a 55-48 lead. 11:10 left to go in the third quarter. Third quarter just underway as Chris Ford takes it down the lane. But the ball goes back the other way now. It's Phil Smith up courts the ball, and it's intercepted by Eric Money. He loses the ball, and Golden State will get it again.
Detroit just can't afford those turnovers. They made a crucial amount of turnovers in the second period, but Golden State did also. Not a lot of difference in the ball game, and that's the reason why we had a close first half.
5-point difference at the end of the first two quarters. Here is Rick Barry with the ball now for Golden State. Barry, so far in this game, has scored 13 points. Charles Johnson drops it off to Barry. Tipped up and in by Clifford Ray. Clifford Ray tipping the ball in. They give the Warriors a 9-point lead, their biggest advantage of the game.
Don, another thing's very important. You know, if Clifford Ray and their other center, George Johnson, were in the game as one man, they would have already fouled out because they have 6 fouls. One of the great things about this ball club, they have tremendous depth, and they just keep coming at you with fresh players all the time.
And Curtis Rowe, Jerry, just got his first points of the game, following up an offensive rebound. And they get 57-50. Rowe, who had 33 to lead the Pistons in Game 2 Thursday night at Oakland, now his first 2 points today. Charles Johnson is left free. He comes right back down. He has 6 points. George Trapp takes it back the other way. Detroit's running better now in the third quarter as they did at the outset of the game.
Don, they'll get a lot better shots if they get the ball down quickly against this Golden State defense. Once they're set, they're really tough on defense.
A foul call from beneath the basket. A little bit earlier, Charles Johnson got free, and we'll watch how he does it.
Just anticipating the screen was Eric Money, and no communication again between the two defenders, and you'll have that a lot if you're going to have guys talking to one another.
Phil Smith is left free, puts up the long-range jump shot. Rebound is tipped by George Trapp. Clifford Ray came over the top to foul Trapp. That's 4 on Cliff Ray, 4 personal fouls.
What's going to happen now if Detroit is wise? I feel that they should take this ball inside, get it to Bob Lanier, try to get Clifford Ray out of the lineup and get George Johnson, but Al Adams is going to probably make a change anyways and bring George Johnson in.
George Trapp off the baseline of the court. George Trapp, who is from the Detroit area, now has 10 points, and the Pistons come back to within 5. We're early in the third quarter, 9:15 to play in it. Johnson again drives, feeds off on a bounce behind the back pass to Wilkes, and again he gets it right back to Johnson. And Johnson is really tough offensively as he puts up quick baskets in the third quarter. Now Eric Money throws the ball away. And Phil Smith wants to set it up. He waves players away, clear it out, and they move it out. Berry fires up against Bob Lanier. Too much on it. Rebound is down off the offensive board to Jamaal Wilkes. Trapp takes the ball down. Up court to Eric Money. Detroit pushing the ball quickly up court. Curtis Rowe goes no foul on the play. A clean block by Rick Berry. Berry takes it right back the other way. Goes all the way down, and a foul-up shot by Clifford Ray is good.
Rick Berry made a great defensive move. Here we have it again. A good pass to Curtis Rowe. Berry comes from behind, blocks the shot cleanly. And here he goes on the fast break.
So Berry, as you see on the replay, with a perfect block from behind the play. And now we have a timeout with it, 63-54 Golden State. Back at Cobo Hall, we are ready to resume play now as Detroit will put the ball inbounds. Chris Ford will put it in play for the Pistons as Golden State is pressing the basketball in the backcourt. Now they drop off as the inbounds play goes to a forward, George Trapp. He calls the play. L.A. is the play. What's that, Jerry?
So what they're going to do is run a double stack down underneath, try to free someone, and they sure did free Eric Money, and he ends up taking a tougher shot than he had to begin with.
George Johnson down with the rebound. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Golden State Warriors in the lead and with the ball. George Johnson has come in for Clifford Ray, who has 4 personal fouls. Here is Phil Smith shut off as he tries to get by Trapp. And now Smith keeps the dribble alive and takes it. What a great play.
He's got that great ability when he goes up over the defender that he can hang in the air. Another thing he does so well is he jumps so well off the dribble that big men don't bother him when he jumps up.
George Trapp from way out. Rebound tipped around and comes down to the Golden State Warriors. Jamaal Wilkes switching hands, weaves up court. Ford gets the ball from him. There'll be a jump ball.
Chris Ford's got a great pair of hands. He led the Pistons in steals this year, and he's always going to be around that basketball also, very much like Charles Dudley. Detroit's shot selection here in the last couple of minutes has been very questionable, Don. They're just not going to get back in this ball game unless they go to their big man inside Lanier, and then once Detroit's offense starts to move, I think Lanier can pass off, hit the open men, but Detroit's going to have to do something a little bit differently. Golden State's defense has gotten much tougher inside.
They blockade the lane. They don't give you anything inside. They've got to get it from the outside, and that's when Detroit's game fell apart in the second quarter. They're taking 4 shots from the deep outside. Berry brings it right back down. It won't go for him. Gets another shot at it. He gets it. Rick Berry with a now puts up his 14th and 15th points of the game. It is 67-54. Ball tipped over to Howard Porter back in the game for Detroit. And Porter right off the bench, right on time. Down court to Rick Berry. He's bigger than Eric Money. Money fouled him.
Here shows you why Golden State's got back in this ballgame. Berry missed the layup. No one there to block him out on the other side. Just moves into position to convert the shot. But Golden State's done a much better job on their boards than they did early in this ballgame.
Archie Clark, who picked up the Detroit Pistons in the second quarter, comes back in. Golden State is annually the best rebounding team in the NBA, and they don't have one guy that gets 18. They get guys 9, 10. Everybody gets boards for them.
This ball club is a very intelligent team. They got a lot of players that know how to play basketball. Al Adams done a fine job putting this team together. And they play as a unit. And when you play as a unit, you're rebounded as a unit. You just don't depend on one man. And they've done this tremendously all through the last 2 seasons.
Bill Smith comes in, gives the ball to Johnson. Here's Rick Berry against Al Eberhard. Berry has trouble with holding the ball as Eberhard hawks him. Berry now guns the pass cross court to Phil Smith. Boy, he can play.
He can play and he can really shoot. But Rick Berry is a man who made that play all possible. Rick Berry leads his team in assists. He's their big leader, and they look for him to make the pass and also make the big plays.
Phil Smith, Jerry, now has 22 points for Golden State. It is a 69-56 game as Chris Ford puts it up. Rebound tapped out to Howard Porter. Very poor percentage shooting by the Detroit Pistons, but Ford hustles to the ball. They'll get a third shot at it. Got to go to Lanier. Lanier is standing there without the basketball, and guys with a third his ability are throwing up bad shots.
There's no question that to get the ball into Bob Lanier, you have to shoot a little bit from outside, but they're overdoing it. There's no question that these shots have not had a chance to go in. They're not good percentage shots, and particularly, as you mentioned, Don, from the people that's been taking.
Well, the Golden State Warriors have opened up their biggest lead in this game. They're now up by 13, 69-56. 5:58 to go in the third quarter. We have a timeout. That's how it stands here at Detroit. 69-56. Golden State is in the lead and with the ball. An aggressive team game has put the Warriors from 10 points down right on top of this game. They were up by 5, and now they lead by 15. Archie Clark will run the offense. They didn't have much success with Eric Money earlier in the third quarter. Lanier gets the ball, and 3 guys go right on him. They know where's that. Hit them right where they live. Guard Lanier, and you stop their offense.
They not only stop their offense, but I think the one thing that you do, Bob Lanier has had great success going to the basket when they missed a shot from outside. Now they've got 3 guys around him. They're blocking him off the boards. They're keeping him completely away, and Golden State's superior quickness has got them this big lead.
Howard Porter was one of the great college players in a long time when he was at Villanova. Drafted number 1 by the Chicago Bulls. Has come off the bench here today to get points for the Detroit Pistons. He has scored 7 so far. 5:25 to go in the third quarter. Berry, very aggressive and a lot of motion in his offensive game as he goes down low to George Johnson.
Don, that's 3 straight baskets that he's assisted on. Even though the other guys have scored, he's been the recipient of getting the pass from Rick Berry.
John Mengelt, the Auburn linebacker, puts his head down and heads for the hoop, and there's a foul on the play as the shot was also blocked.
Here's that last particular play. Notice a great pass by Rick Berry, but George Johnson makes a very difficult shot on that particular play. But Berry does that better than anyone in basketball.
George Johnson, standing to the upper right of your screen, is 6'11". He was out of basketball and was working as a bank guard in the San Francisco area. Imagine that guy at 6'11", done up with a gun and a hat.
He went to Dillard College or University. I really don't know where Dillard is, to be frank.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Been a very good asset to this ball club.
4 years on the Dean's list. Here is Rick Berry. Looks for the brand. Breaking it is Phil Smith coming off the baseline of the court, and George Johnson takes a swat at it and knocks it right in. It's all going right for Golden State.
Everything they're doing is right now, but I really feel that the reason they've got this big lead is because they put such good team defense. They look at Bob Lanier. Every time he gets it, there's 2 or 3 guys around him. They forced him completely outside now.
They'll let him have the outside shot. They won't give him a thing inside now. Archie Clark has helped the Pistons a lot. He has scored 9. And it's a 75-61 game, Golden State. Dudley against Mengele, hands off to Berry. 5 men on the move in the Golden State offense. That's been the difference. 5 men moving, the 4 without the ball. Somebody's got to get open, and they have. Back and forth across the lane. Watch this team play again as Berry takes it down. Lead pass. And down to George Johnson for the hoop. And so it is a 77-61 game with 4:11 to play in the third quarter. Next Friday evening at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, CBS Sports will be televising another NBA playoff game, and there are 3 possibilities for that game. Could be Golden State and the Pistons here at Detroit again, possibly Buffalo at Boston, or Phoenix at Seattle. Check your local listings for April 30th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, NBA playoff basketball here on CBS. Detroit has been outscored this quarter 24-13. Bill Smith has hit 6 points in the third quarter. And the Johnson boys, George and Charles, no relation, have 6 each also. For Golden State. Now Lanier is going to pop it up from the outside. At least he's getting a shot off. Golden State has really taken him out of the game at the end of the floor.
Well, what really hurts is that once you move Bob Lanier that far from the basket, you have that lack of offensive rebounding in it that he's done so well early in this ball game.
Golden State using the clock, using a team offensive game. The ball goes down low to Dwight Davis, and he is fouled on the play.
Foul on number 54.
Third personal foul on Howard Porter. And so the penalty now goes in effect for Golden State, and Davis goes to the free throw line.
Another example of Golden State's great depth. Dwight Davis was a starter at Cleveland. They got him in a trade for Butch Beard. Butch Beard's no longer with Cleveland now, and Golden State's got another fine basketball player. But they have so many good players coming off this bench that they just have to hurt you sooner or later.
Plus, there's a great team attitude. Everybody knows they're going to get in the game. Everybody works that much harder. The whole league is really going to that. More and more team play.
Well, you have to have depth to win in this league, Don. And here we have a good example. Detroit, everyone surrounding Bob Lanier inside and finally get a pretty good shot.
Curtis Rowe with only his 3rd and 4th points of this game. The man who had 33. It's been said of Curtis Rowe by his former UCLA coach John Wooden, he never had a bad game. The people started to wonder if he was ever going to have an outstanding one. But he certainly did his best game as a pro Thursday night. He's a very consistent guy. Gets you between 16 and 20 points, 9 to 15 rebounds every time out. As Jamaal Wilkes comes back in the game for Golden State. Archie Clark hustles the ball up court against Charles Dudley. Here is Curtis Rowe against Jamaal Wilkes. One-on-one, they clear the side, and there's a foul call on Wilkes. Wilkes gets his second.
You know, at this point in this ball game, Detroit's going to be very careful they don't get completely out of the game. They're going to have to move their bodies instead of so much with the dribble. They've dribbled the ball much too much. Golden State here again taking advantage of it.
And Phil Smith beats Archie. Wow. 6'4". He can go up. Again, the turnover is forced, and here come the Warriors on the run. This time they lose it. It'll come back inside. Watch 6'4", Phil Smith set it down off the run.
Great thing about Phil Smith, now you can get an idea why his jump shot is so tough to stop. Tremendous leaping ability for a guy his size.
He is right from the city of San Francisco. Played high school basketball there, went to USF, and now at the Golden State Warriors. Lanier to Eric Money. He gets points down the lane. And it is an 80-65 game. 2.5 minutes to go. Smith looking to go to the basket again. There's the jump shot you were talking about, Jerry. He didn't get it in, but he did draw the foul.
Well, in this particular case, just simply one-on-one, and he overpowers Eric Money because Eric Money is simply smaller than him. Phil Smith, a great ball handler, great shooter. He has it all, and he's also very young.
And he now has 26 points, Phil Smith. Bob Lanier with 17 is the high man for Detroit, but he's not scored in the third quarter.
I think you can see what's happened to Detroit's team. Look at all those blue jerseys around him. There's one of the few times they've gotten a good shot away.
Well, and there's 3 guys in Lanier. There's got to be 2 guys open somewhere, but they're not finding them. Here comes Lanier to the basket. They double right up on him again. He goes outside to Archie, Clark, in and out. Jamaal Wilkes down with the rebound. Here comes Rick Berry. Got off on the flank by Eberhard. A long lead pass, and it was last touch by Rick Berry. It looked like Clark had a piece of the ball. He did not, so the Pistons will put it in play.
In that particular play, if Rick would have looked up just a little bit sooner, Phil Smith was wide open, but it looked like he was holding the ball just a little bit too long that particular play.
Here's Lanier, gets the shot. He'll get that all day for him to try to get the ball, and Lanier's got to move a lot more either side of the lane.
Well, they need him to move around a little bit more, but they also need someone to get him the ball. It's not really his fault that he's not getting the ball. You have to have some man to get the ball to you.
And again, the Warriors come right back down, get an easy bucket as Dudley slips in the back door. Lanier now has 19 points, but those were his first 2 of the second half. And they came with 1:50 to play in the third quarter. Curtis Rowe took a whack in the eye from Rick Berry accidentally. So we have an official injury timeout.
That's one of those plays when a guy starts to drive, everyone's smacking at the ball. Rick Berry was trying to deflect it, hit Curtis across the face, but he looked like he's okay.
Curtis Rowe from Fremont High School in Los Angeles has turned out so many great athletes, played on the 3 UCLA championship teams.
The man, John Wooden, has turned out a lot of great basketball players. It'd be nice to see what an all UCLA team could do in the NBA.
There's enough guys in the league from there.
They could have 2 teams almost.
1:33 to go in the third quarter as Curtis Rowe goes to the free throw line. He was the number 1 draft choice of the Detroit Pistons the same year that Abdul-Jabbar went to Milwaukee and Sidney Wicks went to Portland. Actually, Jabbar came out earlier.
That's correct.
Wicks and Rowe came out the same year.
To show you Golden State's great depth, they've got 2 new guards in the lineup. They're taking the man out of the ball game and scored 28 points. Bring in 2 guards that are very fine guards in their own right. Gus Williams, an outstanding rookie, and Charles Dudley, who helped Golden State get that big lead in the first half.
Al Eberhard out-hustles Rick Berry to the basketball. Gets it over to Eric Money, and Archie Clark takes the shot. And Eberhard really works. And then they call country. From a farm in Iowa, Al Eberhard out of the University of Missouri, a former number 1 draft choice, worked to get the ball, worked to get it to somebody open, then tipped in the missed shot.
Those are the little things that good basketball teams seem to do.
Berry outfights everybody to the ball. Eberhard knocks it away. And Dudley comes up with the ball for Golden State. Gus Williams in the game. Back to Charles Dudley. 84-71. Golden State in the lead as Jamaal Wilkes rims the hoop. Down on the rebound is Archie Clark at 6-1. Long lead pass to Curtis Rowe. Now, with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, Cobo Hall comes alive as the Detroit Pistons start to get some offense generated.
That one little play that Al Eberhard made down there has really seemed to inspire this ball club at this point.
Berry puts it up. Curtis Rowe takes down the rebound. Detroit a regenerated ball club now. Moving the ball quickly up court. Eric Money feeds off to Lanier. And there's a foul call against Golden State.
Don, this is the first time I've seen these Detroit players have almost anything to get excited about for a long time. Okay, here's Eric Money. Lays the ball off to Bob Lanier, and Charles Dudley hits him pretty good there. And Lanier's going to go to the free throw line as the Warriors are in the penalty.
Herb Brown up and calling out that there are 3 seconds left to his team. Now shut off the flanks, don't let him get the ball down court. Lanier drops in his 20th point of the game. He had 12 in the first quarter, 17 in the first half. 3 seconds to go on the third quarter, and Lanier can bring the Pistons back to within 9 as we head into the final 12 minutes. Detroit pressing the ball. And Gus Williams throws up a prayer at the buzzer. Got at the distance, but not at the target. So the third quarter comes to an end. As the Golden State Warriors see their lead cut now to 9 points at the end of the third quarter. Look at Eberhard earlier. Gets the ball. Now watch Eberhard follow the play. Clark misses the jump shot. Eberhard taps it in. That's what you win with. Next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, CBS Sports Spectacular will present an exciting show featuring the thrilling World's Championship Demolition Derby and the Men's World Cup Surfing Championship from Oahu, Hawaii. That's next Saturday at 4 p.m. Back to live action here at Detroit as we open the fourth quarter. The Golden State Warriors having to break a press to get the ball up court. Detroit rallying back from way down, 15 points down to trail by 9. Eberhard gets the steal. Here comes Eric Money leading the break. Goes to Curtis Rowe. And a foul is called on the Warriors. What do we have going here now? Some question about the clock, I think, with Darryl Garrettson. He's looking up at the clock, goes over to the official score and timer.
The backcourt foul on that particular play. I thought that they'd called a foul on that play, Don, but no one heard it. Gus Williams fouled Eric Money in the backcourt. Okay, here's a good play by Eberhard. Anticipating the pass from Dudley. Steps inside the defender.
So a backcourt foul is indeed ruled, and going to the free throw line is Eric Money.
No, it was on Eberhard. Eberhard, when he intercepted the pass, Don, stepped in front of the defender. He grabbed him there, and there was so much noise when he made the play, I don't think anyone heard it, not even the players.
Money was standing at the free throw line. They sent him away and brought in Eberhard. I wanted to sneak in. Apparently Eberhard doesn't have that great touch from 15 feet. Not bad. Backcourt foul is on Gus Williams. We got a ball game. The match is on now. It's 84-77 and a load of time remaining. 11:40 to go. Very enthusiastic, sold-out arena. Coming alive. Gus Williams spins around, goes to Dwight Davis. It's been really unusual how the tempo of this game has turned around. Jamaal Wilkes out-hustles everybody to the ball as the 24-second clock recycles and Golden State sets it up again.
Well, I think what you have to notice about Golden State is so good. They don't get excited. They come down, set up their offense each time, and they're going to try to get a good shot instead of taking the quick shot.
Dwight Davis was traveling with the ball, and so it comes back over now to Detroit. Rick Barry comes back in the game for the Golden State Warriors. Rick Barry has scored 15 points. High man is Phil Smith with 28. Archie Clark and Eric Money working in the backcourt. Clark jitterbugging against Dwight Davis. Curtis Rowe turns it around. Rebound to Lanier. He'll go right back up. Blocked by George Johnson. The ball is tipped out. And Eberhard and Dwight Davis are ready to square off.
Okay, Lanier, here's a play. He's blocked by George Johnson. Looked like Eberhard was hit across the face with an elbow that was not intentionally thrown.
Dudley on the drive. Whips the ball over to Dwight Davis. Too much on it. And the loose ball is picked up by Eric Money. Here come the Pistons on the run. 4 men back for Golden State on the left flank. It goes to Archie Clark. He is knocked down by Dwight Davis. Basket didn't go, but there's a 2-shot foul on the play.
I tell you, Detroit's right back in this ball game, and going into the last quarter in your home court, you got this tremendous crowd here roaring for you. Could really help this ball club.
Archie Clark, the 11-year veteran from the University of Minnesota, at the free throw line. (84-79), a 5-point difference as Clark now has 11. And Golden State, leading by 15, is now up by just 5. Down low to Phil Smith, turns it around and gets the shot, and there's a foul on the play. Basket is disallowed. Apparently the foul came prior to the shot.
They're going to probably try to go to Phil Smith a little bit inside. He's got a tremendous size advantage on Archie Clark, and they'll try to run him in deep, I feel, with a good offensive pattern.
Here is Rick Barry down the lane, two-handing it underneath, up and good. And Barry has now scored 17 points. And Golden State opens up a 7-point lead. Clark right down the baseline of the court. His first shot. Goaltend. Good call. There's no question the ball was on the way down.
You know, if George Johnson hadn't touched that particular shot, I don't think it would have gone in anyway. Here's Archie turning the corner, using the basket for protection on the other side. That shot would not have gone anyway.
That wouldn't even hit the rim, but it was on the way down. It was touched. Now as Dudley drives, we have a foul call against Detroit.
Foul number 14.
Eric Money draws the personal foul, his third.
Don, if you notice, when Detroit's got back in this ball game, Al Eberhard has made two good defensive plays and it's really got this ball club going.
Bill Smith takes it down, gets his own rebound, and Eberhard had the ball, took it away from him. Eberhard's done the big job, and here comes Eric Money. Eric Money's not been able to get the shot, but he gets the ball right back and puts it up with the left hand. It's a three-point game as Eric Money comes back down the floor. Here is Eberhard. Earlier taking the ball away. In addition to the exciting Bluegrass Stakes and the National Indoor Swimming Championships, CBS Sports Spectacular will present the Super Bowl of Motocross, which promises to be one of the most exciting motorcycle events of the year. Next on the CBS Sports Spectacular, it is a three-point game here at Detroit after Golden State had led by 15 in the third quarter. Now early in the fourth quarter, 2.5 minutes into it, Detroit has rallied back to cut the Golden State lead to 86-83. Jerry West.
They've done it with defense and real good movement of the ball up on their offensive end. Bob Lanier's got to handle the ball a little bit more. And Detroit's now going to bring back Jamaal Wilkes in there. They've got all their horses back in there now for the Golden State Warriors to try to get this lead back.
Dudley down low, puts Eberhard in the air with a fake, gets the shot up, tipped by Johnson, tapped over to Archie Clark. And here comes Detroit. They can come back to it in one. Jamaal Wilkes was tripped and went down hard. Eberhard going for the ball, tripped Jamaal Wilkes, hit his knee quite hard. Boy, that Money's looking to shoot the ball.
Well, he's looking to shoot the ball, but he's really made some bad plays for him. Playing a little bit out of control, and you can see Eberhard trying to go in for the ball. Trips Jamaal Wilkes. He's going to have a chance for a couple free throws here.
Here comes Chris Ford back in the game. He's not been in for quite a while. Actually, it looked like he banged his elbow as trainer Dick D'Olivo puts a little of that ethyl chloride on.
They call it hurt no more, but it does hurt.
Spread a little hurt no more on it.
But it still hurts.
Freezes you up.
Not really. I think it's more mental than anything.
That might be a can of bug spray or something. Who knows? Probably nothing in it.